Well, good afternoon, Mr. Akbar. Welcome to our Wednesday, 12:30 lunchtime tea talk. Level up with the Akbars, next level conversation. Today we got some jasmine ginger tea. So cheers to you.
Cheers, my dear.
hmm I'm super excited about our talk today. Anytime we talk about finances, I just really appreciate more information, right? Because knowledge is power only if applied. Would you agree?
I do definitely agree with that.
And I know that our topic today is finances, and we want to keep it pretty much talking about ourselves and how we're preparing for our financial future, and also what our dreams and our goals are. And of course, with all of that being said, finance plays a huge part in it. So I'd like to just go first quickly by saying that I definitely wanted to make sure that my debt got out of debt. And then moving forward, also make sure I repaired my credit because a lot of times people don't realize that even though you are removing debt if you're whether you're in the debt management program or you're um, paying the debt off yourself, a lot of those things that show on your credit report will still show negative long after it's paid off or charged off. So I'm working right now with some credit repair companies that's actually helping to boost a person's credit score by getting those negative marks removed completely from your credit report from all three credit bureaus. And that way, in the future, when you get ready to go purchase or do something, just having a better credit score, everybody wants to have a better credit score because you have better opportunities. Um, my question to you, Mr. Akbar, too, in regards to finances, how are you preparing or working on your financial?
I didn't hear the last word.
Yeah, I said, how are you preparing and or working on your financial future?
Oh my goodness, Miss Rachel Akbar. Thank you for that question. Great.
You're welcome.
Well, I'm in business for myself now,
Mhm.
and a lot of people may not know this, but I'm building a big team,
Mm,
and so by doing that, I have a distribution arm that's vast. And so when we talk about multiple streams of income, every person that I build on my team is a stream of income.
mm,
You see, so the more people that I can build, the more streams of income they're going to have, and the more streams of income I'm going to have. So it's win-win for everybody.
mhm,
So my future in the next 5 years, I'm in a company that builds wealth, builds millionaires. You see, and who do you know? What company do you know that you can come in for a very small amount of money? It's not like I got to buy a franchise where I'm getting, in debt for $1 million, and I got to come out of that before I can start making any profit. I come in with a minimum. I paid $100 to get involved with this company, and now I'm making uh, millions of dollars, hanging out with millionaires, and the reality is it don't stop.
mm,
So I'm just so impressed, with the opportunity that I have and the opportunity that I have to share with others. So they'll also have a similar opportunity, if not a better opportunity, to do whatever you want to do with your life. And so I'm just extremely happy, extremely grateful to
yes.
be a part of the wonderful organization that I'm a part of. So thank you for that question. Yeah, but my future and my finances are secure in that I have the platform that will secure it if I
Mm,
do the work. So
mm,
only thing that I need is effort and commitment. And moving forward, game over.
game over. Yeah, you just said a lot when you said that, associations I'm finding out is everything. Who do you go to in regards to information? Who do you trust? Who do you lean on to be able to direct you in the right path? Because, you get on the internet now with social media, and there's so many people, offering to help build your credit, offering to help you get out of debt, offering to help you be able to retire. And so, who do you select? Because, of course, everybody wants to say that I'm the best, I'm the best. But as I've talked to people in the past and I asked them, Even, how familiar are you with index strategies? Then all of a sudden I'm looking at a deer in headlights. So I'm saying too, of course you want to have a portfolio of various assets in your financial portfolio. That's just like a table. If it has one leg and that leg gets broken, that table can no longer stand. It's no good. However, if you got a picnic table, as far as your finances go, then you have multiple legs. So if one gets exhausted, then you still have a table that's standing. You still have a financial backing. And that goes to in regards to a lot of people that have tax deferred plans. They don't realize and understand that that plan is going to be taxed regardless, 40% when they get ready to retire. Most people don't know that. They don't understand the rules. They don't know that there's a 59 and a half rule, that if they take any money out prior to being 59 and a half, they're going to be penalized 10%. Plus, they're going to have to pay 30% federal and 10% state, which is still 50% of whatever amount of money that they were needing for whatever they needed it for. So just understanding the rules of money and how money works is super important. And I think one of the biggest rules is the 72 rule, that when you get 72, you're going to have to take 4% annually of your total account value. Otherwise, the government is going to step in and take 50% of your 4% because they consider it as income. Now, what really piques my interest and awareness is knowing once people hit that retirement age, now they're moving up in age, they may have ailments where now they can't work. So, what's going to happen when Social Security is only offering the police department $940 a month in Social Security? So, now if they haven't saved in another retirement vehicle and they don't have any other assets, that's going to soon deplete. They'll be broke within what, 10 years if they have a retirement plan that, only rendered them maybe 100,000, because the average person that's 50 years old only has 38,000 in their retirement plan. So what really concerns me is just educating people on what's available. It is not just about going out and offering them a product or a plan, but educating them so that we can change the whole trajectory of the dynamics of the family's financial future.
Yeah, that's great. Absolutely. And so it's a sad situation, when you think about in terms of the information that's not being disseminated to working people. And so when you work on a job for 40 years or 30 years or 20, whatever length of time that you work on a job, and now you become an elder and you find out exactly what you're saying is so true. You didn't know the rules about how your retirement vehicle was going to run out of gas at the time when you needed to get to your destination the most.
Yeah.
Here you are now, senior, you're retirement age, you have some ailments, and now you're running out of money. And
Hmm.
stress only contributes to ailments.
Yes.
You see, so now, it's like no wonder we have so many elders that are suffering in ways that they probably shouldn't be, as a result of not knowing the information that they could have known,
Hmm.
if they've been exposed. So my crusade, and sometimes it appears that I'm a little intrusive in people's lives, but I know I'm so passionate about educating families about what I know they don't know. Because when I ask most people on a scale of 1 to 10, how familiar are you with how your retirement plan works? Generally, it's 2 to 3%. Now
Hmm.
imagine that. So at the time when we find out that we were in the wrong vehicle, we already are elder. It's
Hmm.
too late to do anything about it. And
Hmm.
so the result is, well, I'll go work for Walmart,
Hmm.
or if I have a friend who has a business, that I can go and, maybe they'll let me work for them. But it's like to think about that in your later years. I mean, it's crazy.
Yes. It's
So
scary
my,
too.
my mission, is to interrupt some people's lives. And I just want to say it on a public forum. I apologize in advance, but if you ever see me, I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to expose you to some information that I know is going to protect you and your family. So
Yeah.
forgive me for what appeared to be an intrusion, but it's really a compliment to your life. What do you think about that, Mrs. Akbar?
Well, I'm glad that you mentioned that because oftentimes, I'm actually looking for people that want to change their life. I'm actually looking for people who, they might have said, as soon as I get on my feet, then I'm going to be interested in, learning more about finances or wanting to have another opportunity because, that job that just over broke and still being a slave, people don't realize that it's just modern day slavery because you still don't own the corporation you're working for. You still have to ask for permission to take off work. You could be sick and not have enough sick time, not have enough PTO, don't have any FMLA. Now you got to go in and go to work anyway because they tell you that you don't have any time available and, that you need to come in anyway. So, I mean, just those things. You might have a stomach ache really quick and have to run to the bathroom, be in the bathroom for a while. Now they're looking for you. You didn't let us know you weren't going to be at your desk. You know, uh, we were calling you. Where were you? I mean, you going in your 50s and 60s having to answer to someone just for a check that you're getting that's still not meeting all your needs. It's just helping you to maintain a level of lifestyle. So when you ask yourself, when I'm in a better place or a better position, then I'm willing to look at other opportunities. Well, if that better place and better position has not come after 10 years working, 5 years working, where is it going to come from if you don't step out on faith and learn a new opportunity to be able to control your future, control your time, and control your finances by writing your own check? So I'm looking to build leaders. I'm looking to, be able to help people to learn how to invest in their own future and become an entrepreneur and be able to write their own check the size they want it to be according to the type of work they want to do in the field. So, I love the mentoring, the coaching, um, the associations, just learning new information because right when I thought I had it, guess what? There was more room for improvement, more room to grow. So, yeah, so I know that you're looking for the same. I wanted to bring up something too and ask you, why do you think people are so not receptive to changing their lifestyle? People don't even do research on what they have. They don't do research on the 401k. But as soon as you offer them a better opportunity and try to let them know there's other plans, other ways to retire outside of the traditional tax deferred plan. But then they go, okay, well, I'm good, or I think I'm gonna be all right, and I'll just wait till the time come. Why do you think people are so willing to take something that's so important so lightly?
That's a great question. And I think human nature, you know, continues to keep us in a place of comfort,
Mm,
you see, and necessity, is the mother of invention, it's said.
mm,
And so, people just don't respond well to change,
mm,
and that's been a historical fact throughout the ages of time. People are just not, and it's not just about the financial aspect of it, becoming better able to do something different with your. We have been herded into a mindset, you see, and even though, like when you see it, like when you see in the wildlife movie,
mhm.
when animals have to travel across the water
The great
to get.
migration.
Yeah, so they know they got the alligators and everything in there. You see, now there could be a path around that they're not familiar with,
Mm,
that they won't go.
right.
They're gonna continue to go the way they normally go because they've been conditioned to accept that like that.
Mm,
That's it. And so when you come with anything that's different or new, right, it's going to be examined in a way where it's scrutinized.
mhm,
And so when people start scrutinizing what you come with that's new, they're not looking for a way of qualifying it. They're looking for a way of disqualifying it so they can stay where they are. And so when you come into people with an interruption to their thought process, well, what you can expect from them is scrutinizing,
mhm.
you see, in a way to disqualify what you're bringing.
Yeah.
So what our advantage is being confident in the way that we articulate what we're bringing to the table. This is what I want to say in reference to people who are working.
Okay.
And this is a key piece that I think is important to know because working on a job is a wonderful thing to be able to pay your bills, and take care of your family. But see, we want to broaden that perspective, and see, and this is the thing that I felt victim to. I was able to maintain my lifestyle. I was able to, I did some wonderful things with my life as a result of having a job.
Yes.
But down the road, you see, and that's where the downside of it all is. Down the road, when you think you have done well in building a life, then you become an elder in society, not knowing what's waiting on you up ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And now you start getting the downside effect of not having the income that the job provided, not knowing that the federal government is going to take up to 50% of your money when
Mm-hmm.
you retire. So if you was already having financial difficulties while you were working with a full income,
Yes.
now your income has been reduced to half. And now you're a senior citizen. Now you have medical issues. Now you have all of that mobility problem. And it's like it's a hell waiting on people to happen.
Mm.
And so my crusade is to interrupt that flow by going to people just like you was talking to about resisting the change,
Mm-hmm.
having to talk to those folks to see if we can get them to just open up just a little bit to this window to show them the future
Mm-hmm.
and the opportunity you have right now to design your future or to accept it because of the default.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Yeah, I like that. Everything you said was awesome because, again, people don't plan to fail, they just fail to plan. And so I highly encourage each and every person that may watch this video to go to the HR person and ask questions. Ask them, hey, when I get ready to retire, if you plan to stay with the company. Because what you don't know is once you leave the company, if you have insurance on the company and the company, that's gone, and the retirement plan, you definitely want to move it so it's not just sitting volatile to the stock market. But the question you want to ask the HR person is, hey, what will be my distribution at retirement plan and how long will that last me? Because I think a lot of people just think it's going to work out. And, I hear a lot of times, well, I just figure it out when I get there, and, not considering. So, I'm grateful that you can be the example, showing families how you can have a prominent job, being a manager, being a supervisor, being a CEO. And then, okay, you get ready to retire, you still have the same retirement plan as everyone else. And if it's a 401k, 403b, TSP, 459, deferred comp, whatever it is, it's still going to be taxed 40%. And then when people say, well, my company matches me, and I always give the example, if you put in a dollar and they put in a dollar, and at retirement time they take their dollar back, then you did not get your match. You only have what you actually put in. So if you're max funding your retirement, you're going to pay more taxes. And do you think that taxes are going to be higher when you retire or lower? Historically they're higher. So you're going to be, having to lose more money. So, when we're sharing with families to, you know, pay the taxes up front on the seed so all your harvest grows tax free. Yeah, people just, it seems like they baffle with that concept and can't even fathom because of the mind of being conditioned to think that the only retirement plan is a tax deferred plan that your company offers you. So it's just it's sad in general because you're minimizing your future growth. You're minimizing what you can do down the road by depending on a supplemental plan, because that's what a 401k was designed to be, as a supplement. It was not designed to be a full paid pension for life. And that retirement plan is going to run out at some point. I use the analogy of trying to go to New York from California on a full tank of gas. You are not going to get there. Same thing with the 401k. It's not that that's a bad vehicle, but it's just not enough to have in your financial portfolio for 30 to 40 years post retirement. People living a lot longer nowadays, to age 80, 70 and 80. So that's 20 years down the road. So you definitely want to look at what's in your retirement plan And then whatever you're making per year, you want to times that, times 30 years, and see if that's going to last you. 9 times out of 10, it's not. So, Mr. Akbar, what are some of your suggestions to individuals that are young, that may be in their 20s and 30s, and they're not even thinking about retirement? They think, oh, I can worry about that later. What would you say to them?
Well, just as an idea, thank you for that question.
Hmm.
Just to be able to share with them the compound interest effect, and how if you can earn $7 to $8 for every dollar that you save, it's almost like nothing to think about. If I can put $1 away, and instead of getting no interest on my dollar, I can put it into a strategy where I can get 6 to 10% interest on it or more, then you would think that's a no-brainer. But it's foreign and it's different, and it brings with it some scrutiny. So I was helping a lady understand, because she thought she was doing pretty well. She had retired, and she, like almost $1 million she had in her retirement account, almost $500,000, I meant to say, in her retirement account. Actually, it was somewhere around 400,000.
Hmm.
And so she was pulling out, and I was saying to her, because she thought, well, I pay my bills, I'm doing fine. And I was saying, yeah, but listen to me. You have a bucket of money that is not growing, and now you've retired and you're pulling from it. She said, yeah, I'm able to pay my bills, and everything is fine. I said, yeah, for now.
Yeah.
I said, but let's go down the wheels of time. So how much are you actually pulling out of your account? She said, well, I pay my bills, everything is maintained, so roughly around $4,500 a month. I said, okay. So you got somewhere between $400,000 and $500,000 saved. Let's do the math. Okay. So 4,500 times 12 is $54,000. Let's say times 10. That's $648,000. So she had no clue that in 10 years, her money was going to begin to deplete itself. And now she was going to have a different problem, right? Because from 55 to 65, and then at 65, you realize that you got a red flag on your bank account, because your money hadn't grown for you. So it'll take you back to what you asked me about younger people. If you can earn 5 to $10 for every $1 that you save, so when you get to 65 years old, money won't be a concern of yours, because the compound interest effect would have grown so substantially that now your money has been working for you all these years. So when you're ready to retire, that's your choice. You're retiring by design, not by default. Does that make sense?
It does. And even when you mentioned the 400,000 in her portfolio, you still have to take away 40% taxes. That's still going to be 160,000 removed from that plan. And then when you said 10 years, it wasn't going to even last 10, because you got up to 600,000 at 10, but you said she had 400,000. So roughly around 7 or 8 years, she was
Out of
going
money.
to. Mhm.
Absolutely out of money.
Why,
But so
why do you think people think that that 401k is going to keep regenerating, or that it's going to keep growing?
well,
Why do
they don't have an idea how it works. As I spoke of earlier, the majority of people that I about, from a scale of 1 to 10, how familiar are you with how your retirement plan work? And I rarely get above 3. So people are making 20 to 30% decisions about their retirement, about their finances, about protecting their family, about things that they think that they have in place, but they haven't examined it well enough to get the details about how it really functions. And so my job, I've been commissioned, I believe, to come in and help people understand better how they can put together a plan that will save their family from financial hardship in the future.
Mhm.
And God forbid she have a medical emergency. or she has to do some major repairs on her house because she was a homeowner. She has a nice car, all of that. I said, what if something tragic happened and your insurance don't cover the car because there's warranties? Insurance companies don't cover if you have a motor problem and your motor fall out. They'll cover that other stuff that has to do with driving. You have somebody steal your car. But if your motor go out, I don't think they don't cover that.
Yeah.
Those type of things. And so what? That's $6,000, $7,000 that cuts into that retirement plan. So it's just interesting. And I'm so blessed and so grateful that I'm a part of a company that is particularly concerned about helping families understand how to protect the thing that we work 2 jobs for, money. Does that make sense?
It does. It does indeed. And I'm putting in the chat just a couple of books that I think is a real good read. And that's one is the Volatility Shield. I think individuals need to, read a little bit more about retirement to know what to expect and what they will have and what they won't have, instead of depending on someone to, explain it to you or to, rely on. You want to rely on your own information. You definitely want, it's funny, as you mentioned, when you're going to talk to families, then, a lot of times they say all of a sudden they become researchers. Well, I want to do research. However, they knew nothing about their tax deferred plan. I don't know. It's just hard to help people sometimes get to a better place. And, you know, whereas, I mean, a lot of people, want to just, I guess, maybe have something to complain about opposed to getting in a better situation for themselves and their families. I put the Volatility Shield, and what's another recommended reading you would want to say, Mr. Akbar?
Money, wealth, and life insurance.
My favorite.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
it. It's a simple read, 60 pages, but it gives you a clear picture of, our signature product, which is the Index Universal Life. That is a wealth building product. And so if you start your children off correctly, they grow up and money won't be a concern.
Hmm.
As far as purchasing a house, or going to college, or whatever those important areas are, for your family. Money won't be the barrier that stops you from getting it.
Hmm.
You won't have to try to figure out how to pay for it.
Hmm.
You'll design your lifestyle, as you want to see it. And
Hmm.
you have a vehicle that's designed to create it just the way it was designed. And so, you can never lose. And Warren Buffett said, first rule, of money, right, is never lose it.
Hmm.
The second rule is never forgetting the first rule.
Yeah.
Don't lose your money. So the IUL is set up where you'll grow and never lose. I mean, wow. But see, people are unfamiliar with it, and it sounds so terrific. They want to examine it. And
Well,
I
that's
think if
good.
that's truly your intention to examine it, let's do it together because I can help you. But if you're trying to solve a problem with the same level of consciousness that created it, I don't think you're going to have a solution because, it's part of the process of thinking. You understand? Does
I
that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. I put your email in the chat just in case someone wants to connect with you and hear more and get more information. There's 14 books written on tax-free retirement. And so, yeah, when you talk about, a lot of people think, hey, it sounds too good to be true. Yeah, well, you know what? That's why it's been a well kept secret, and now that we are able to change the face of the financial industry, able to share this information, we definitely want to make sure that individuals are looking up some of these books. You got Tax Free Retirement, you got The Retirement Miracle. I love the book What Would the Rockefellers Do? It shares
Mhm.
with families. I mean, and this is evidence, right? We've been talking about the Rockefellers ever since I was a child. So they've been one of the wealthiest families over centuries and decades. Why? I said centuries. Because they have utilized just regular whole life insurance to build their family's wealth. Well, can you imagine if they had been using index, then they would be the wealthiest family in history, so to speak. So again, most people are doing all the right things as far as, saving for their children's college, saving for retirement. but they just are in the wrong vehicle. They're not in a vehicle that's going to offer and render them up to 15% interest. And, where do you know? Where do you know that you can gain 15% interest on your money? Surely not in the bank, not stocks, not bonds, not Bitcoin, not day trading, not cryptocurrency, not real estate. You can only do that in insurable products. So not only is it protected, but you have guarantees. It grows at a high rate of interest. And man, you can never lose. It even has a floor rate of zero. Zero is your hero. So if the market crashes to a negative 30%, guess what? You still come out smelling like roses. You're not affected at all. So, when you want to protect your principal, and one thing I see that's really unfair, and we're actually out of time, is the fact that individuals, oh my goodness, I just lost my point. But I
It's
was,
all good.
hmm
It's all good. Yeah,
hmm I was just going to say something about zero is your hero. You
it is.
know,
Because
huh?
zero is your hero
Yeah.
because it prevents you from losing.
Yes.
And
Right.
so that's the reality of why it's put in place like that. You can never lose your money.
hmm
And so as we wrapping this up, I just want to say to each and every one that's listening or have opportunity to look at this at a later date, take advantage of the opportunity to design your future so it don't be by default,
hmm
because you can do something to make sure that your future is just the way you want it to look. All
Yeah.
right.
Uh-huh.
So
I agree. Now, I think I was going to make a point too, how when people think this sounds too good to be true. Well, when you're talking about a retirement plan where you have to, go through, make sure that you're fairly healthy for it to grow in an insurance product, then yes, I can see individuals that may, worry if their health is in order because so many people, are obese, overweight, with everything going on in our food in our country, especially during the pandemic. Many people have been sheltering in place and food becomes a comfort. And so then here comes diabetes, here comes heart disease, here comes high cholesterol, here comes high blood pressure. So really be careful with that. However, when it comes to a fixed indexed annuity, you don't have to have a clean bill of health. All you have to do is have a lump sum that you want to protect. So I like that. You know,
okay.
yeah, unless you want to turn off on the long term care, then in that case you would want to have to look at your health. But go ahead, Mr. Akbar.
So I just want to say, because next week we're going to be talking about fitness. And so
Mm,
I just want to prepare you all to know that, we believe in the 5 F's: faith, family, finance, fitness, and fun. So next week we're going to be talking about fitness. And I just want you guys to know, where is that? Yeah, that's right. I've
uh,
been I've been on 75 hard and I've been pretty fit. So anyway, as we wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna let Rachel shut it down,
yes.
and I'm gonna see you guys next time. And I hope you be around.
Yeah, I really appreciate this topic of finance. I really enjoy educating people on what's available, just so they know that they don't have to succumb to the tax deferred plan and then miss out on their future in regards. Because I've seen that on YouTube, there's a video called the 401k Fallout by 60 Minutes. I highly encourage everybody to watch it because the real truth comes out about 401k, all the taxes, all the fees, and how it was never meant to actually be a retirement pension plan. It was meant to be a supplement to retirement. So what does that mean? It means that other individuals should look into other forms and ways of staying retired post retirement, 30 to 40 years. So thank you again, Mr. Akbar, for joining me on Next Level Conversation, Level Up with the Akbar's Lunch Tea Time Talk. That's a long title, but I am so glad to be able to do this with you. And I'll see you next time.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're
Peace
welcome.
and love.
Blessings.